Good morning friends and welcome to the pre-market view. Friends, a lot of news and developments to react to. First of all, on the global markets, US markets were up almost about 0.5%, though there has not been any QE3, as some section of the market was believing that we might have some kind of a quantitative easing from the Fed. But the Fed stance has been very clear for the past few weeks that only if there is a need to react to, they would really do something. So there has not been anything in terms of QE3. Nevertheless, the markets were up, and what we have seen is that most of the other asset classes have actually shot up. Particularly gold has actually gone up by almost 2% to $1,690, and even the Brent crude has actually moved up to $114. And the dollar is at actually 4-month low versus euro. So though there has not been a QE3, we are seeing extremely good strength in most of the other asset classes. Coming to the European markets, they were actually up about 1 to 3%, as now people are shifting focus to the 6th September meet of European Central Bank and what kind of steps one could expect from there. Talking about the Asian markets, most of the markets had a soft start. And what is concerning is that the data points which are coming out from the Asia region have been quite weak, particularly Japan and even China. The PMI data at 42.9 were versus 50.1 were much below expectations. So there is a fear that the economic slowdown is actually gathering pace in Asia, and which is what is reflected in the way the Japanese and the Chinese markets are behaving. Talking about the flows, friends, FIIs on Friday were net sellers to the tune of about 211 crore, and the domestic institutions were also sellers to the tune of 172 crore. This is after a long time that we are seeing some selling figures from the FIIs in the cash market. We would also try and check with Shaival about what the flows have been in the F&O side. But on that note, let me invite Shaival to take us through important F&O cues and the possible ideas that we could look in the F&O market. Hi Shaival, good morning.
Good morning.
We are seeing a lot of dullness in our market for the past few days, and the flows also has been actually erratic. But past few sessions, I believe that the flows have been on the selling side, which is what is reflected even in the cash market, that after a long time we have seen selling to the tune of though about 222 odd crore. So what's your take on the flows part?
See, on the day of expiry, there was a huge net addition by FIIs, that is about more than 3,000 crores. But on the very first day after the expiry, when we have started a new series, we have seen that the FIIs were net sellers by around 151 crores in the F&O segment.
Right. And also if you could give us your thoughts on how the IVs have been behaving and what are the strikes around which the major open interest build-up has happened.
See, what we have seen is that the IV from even in the last month also, or say in the last series also, the IVs were increasing but not at the much stronger pace, and that has been seen even in the current series. The IVs have been increasing slowly and steadily, and in Friday's trade also we have seen that IVs have increased by say 400 to 500 basis point, and now what we've also seen is that the PCR ratio has further slipped to 0.90 from 0.92, which is also a concern for the market. Now 5,100 put option stands with has seen a good activity, that is of around 37 lakh shares in open interest, whereas on the call side what we have observed is 5,400 and 5,500 call option has witnessed a good activity. If we combine this open interest, that it crosses the mark of 1 crore shares in both this strike. So what we feel is that 5,400 would act as a hurdle for the market in coming days, and 5,100 would provide a cushion to the market in near term.
Also, based on the straddle value, do you think that this broad range would be taken as a broad level for the markets for this month?
Yeah, this would see the straddle break-even point is 5117 and 5483 on the higher side. So this is the broad range which market would be watching on, and if market is able to surpass this broad range on either of the side, then it's probable that the market would take a direction on the same way. And also what we have seen is that the weekly VWAP for the current week is 5355. So as we are trading below this, the bias for the market from our side is negative, and 5355 would act as a hurdle for the market in the current week, and what on the current week we are targeting is 5200 on the lower side.
Okay, and any ideas that we could look at?
See, we have identified two stocks from intraday perspective and one stock from positional basis. From intraday, financial technology is looking good, so one can buy that with support of 832 rupees 95 paisa, and also Coal India is looking negative. So what one can do is one can go short on Coal India with resistance of 359 rupees. Whereas we have recommended bail put option of strike 200 with stop loss of 2 rupees and target of 7 to 10 rupees for probably 2 to 3 days. And also I'd like to say that as a bias for the market is negative, every rise in the market can be taken as an opportunity to go short, or one what we can say is 5355 on intraday basis can be maintained as a support if one gets a shorting opportunity.
Right, Shaival, thanks a lot for the update.
Thank you.
Friends, back home, Friday market was quite dull, and after the end of that August series, we are seeing that there is not much of strength coming in any particular sector. At the same time, some of the news flow has been negative, particularly the GDP for the first quarter at 5.5%, though was better than the expectations. But the feel is that the overall slowdown and the confidence level is extremely low, and because the GDP has actually not come in at a lower level, RBI will also take a while to really come up with any kind of rate cut or CRR cut to boost the rate sensitive sectors and the confidence in the economy. Also friends, the fiscal deficit number, which has come in at almost about 8.1 to 8.2%, has also been concerning, and though people had concerns that the government may not be able to meet their fiscal deficit target for this year given the overall slowdown and the weak position of the government, now that this number has come in at 8.1% is definitely a matter of concern. Talking about other company specific news which have hit the market, first of all friends, there are reports that Diageo may pay about 3,000 crore to United Spirits for a 27% stake, which is pegged at almost a similar valuation at which United Spirits is quoting. Also, Dr. Vijay Mallya has categorically denied that there is a possibility of any such transaction in the near future, and the stock has actually run up quite a bit. So we believe that there could be some positive uptick which one can capture by going long with a stop loss of 955 and a target of about 1005 to about 1024. RCF has indicated that they are looking at buying out $1 billion Canadian potash mines. So this could be positive for RCF. One can go long with a stop loss of 50.20 and a target of about 52.5 to about 53.5. Friends, as we all know that there is a lot of opposition on the coal block matter, and because of this logjam, some of the coal blocks which have been allocated could be also cancelled, and this number could be anywhere from 14 to about 56, as opposition is claiming that at least 56 to 57 blocks should be cancelled. But the one which is belonging to the Jindal Steel and Power, which belongs to one of the Congress MP, could also be cancelled, and that could be negative for JSPL. So one could go short with a stop loss of 359 and a target of about 343 to about 334. Friends, auto sales number for August have been out, and they have not generally been good, and particularly for Hero Honda Motors it's been pretty bad, and they have reported the lowest number for the last 1.5 years, and it's actually 4.5% below estimates, and the feel is that Hero Honda is lagging behind Honda Motors, which has launched its own bikes, and the overall growth for the bikes sold by Honda Motors has been much better. So one can short Hero Honda with a stop loss of 1824 and a target of about 1743 to 1698. In case of TVS also, numbers have not been good, so one can go short with a stop loss of 39 and a target of about 37.5 to 36.5. Mahindra friends, the tractor sales has been quite disappointing, 17% negative growth, but the automotive sales has been good at about 21.6%. but since the stock has run up quite a bit, one can go short there with a stop loss of 784 and a target of about 748 to 729. Maruti Suzuki, the numbers were bad. They reported almost 41% negative growth, but this was pretty much known in the market because Manesar plant had that major problem and it could not do any kind of a production, so that was pretty much in line. And in case of Tata Motors also, the numbers were pretty much in line with expectations. Friends, on GAR we had an important development over the weekend where some of the suggestions by Shom panel have been like that they have asked for a 3-year postponement of the GAR, and the other thing is that they want to also abolish the short-term capital gains tax, and this is actually both for the FIIs as well as for the resident Indians. And against that, they have suggested that one could look at increasing the SCT component, and the panel has also suggested that provision should not be invoked to examine the genuineness of the residency entities in Mauritius. So this could be a bit of a relief for the market, because now there are indications that the government is considering abolition of GAR for at least about 3 years or so. That's it from all of us, friends. Have a nice trading session. See you tomorrow at the same time.